My bike's all clean! My bike is all clean! Yes! Clean bike! I don't know if there's another one coming. Ambulance shot by, where it's like cars that like instantly go to jump on his ass, like, hell yeah, free fucking ride through traffic. Anyways, how about this? Seems to be a lot of debate over DRZ400 or WR250X, and from what I've seen, at least, I don't think they sell the 250X in America anymore. You can still get an R and buy the wheels for it. You know, just maybe click some of the adjusters on the suspension, you'll still get the same bike. But there's, you know, and people ask me all the time, and truth be told, I've only rode a WR250X. Well, one of my friends had one, and I rode it like around the block one time. And then another friend of mine, the guy I rode with, maybe not much as a friend, just a guy I rode with sometimes, he let me ride his for like a few miles at one point. So with only a few miles under my belt, I've been asked a lot of times what do I think about them. And it's kind of unfair for me to give like a comparison, but I'm going to try to give you my thoughts on the WR250X and maybe compare it to the DRZ400. Again, it's going to be hard for me to compare that because my DRZ400 is not stock. It's modified quite a bit. But regardless, here's the main things I've noticed about driving the WR. It's a lot smoother than the DRZ. And should be expected. It's a fuel-injected bike. It's newer technology. The DRZ is a bike that was built back in 1999 and doesn't have any real upgrades to it. It's the same bike from 1999. And it works good. Nothing wrong with it. I'll get to that in a minute, though. But the WR just feels a shit ton smoother. The fuel-injected makes the throttle response very smooth. The whole bike, it's just smooth all around. It's a good way to describe it. The power comes on. You gotta rev the fuck out of it. That's one thing I noticed when I rode both of them. You really gotta like, they like to be ran hard, you know? They like higher RPMs, but you shouldn't feel like bad for it, you know? It's the kind of like, these engines like that, you know, it's like, you feel like, man, I'm beating on them, but the reality is it's not hurting anything. That engine likes being ran that way, it's okay. So it's kind of a big deal. They all have they have 6-speed transmissions, which you think you get up like highway speed, you can shift it into 6, and you know you think, wow, this feels so much better than the DRZ, which just feels like it's pushed so hard. But I actually think they were showing like some numbers actually in overdrive. The DRZ, or that's not even, I don't even know if 5th gear is technically overdrive. It might not be, but the 5th gear on the DRZ is actually taller than the 6th gear on the WR. It just doesn't feel like it, again, because the engine is very chillaxed at those high speeds. But I still say having the 6-speed is cool. I wish this bike had a 6-speed. But it's it's missing like a lot of the torque, even compared to a stock DRZ. I can remember stock DRZ's got a lot more like oomph, like when you just it's just that instant go on it, you know. Especially this one with the flat slide carb. I mean, this one's obviously modded, like I've said. That's one thing, like a well-tuned flat slide carburetor with an accelerator pump can trump a fucking fuel injection system on a good day when it's all set up right. I'd still love a fuel injected bike, don't get me wrong, but what is this road? Where does this go? I always wondered. I'm gonna find out. Well, I'm following the ambulance now. I did all that wrong. I don't know. I always see people come up this way. I don't know where this road is, where it goes. So I'm gonna find out. Ooh. Discoveries. What the fucking hell is this? I don't think this road's closed. It's not. That's surely what that means, right? If that was their attempt at closing a road, that's their own fault. But, like I said, the bike though it definitely overall though feels a bit newer, but the power is not quite as strong as the DRZ. You have to rev it a lot. You got to get it up in the RPM range, and it's probably, once revved hard and running through the gears, can hold its own against the stock DRZ, but not from down low. I think the DRZ is going to get it. And am I on a closed road right now? Yes, I am. They just did like a really shit job of like, that's so stupid. Whatever. This is my private road. I have a few of these. Find them, and then just own them. Find out where that goes in a minute. Run, birds! Cool. Let's see where that other road goes. Come on, get around, get around. But anyway, the also, so yeah, the DRZ, in far as, I'll just go power to engine, I guess, like that. You know, obviously the DRZ is just a 5-speed. Not as good, in my opinion. I would love to have another gear on this bike. I've said that before. But it does fine with the 5-speed. It doesn't have to have a 6-speed. It does survive, and there's not really like losing anything from not having it, if that makes sense. You know, this is just going over into this. Well, this is boring. I think I'll go back. There's the police. I wonder where he's going. Oh, busted. Don't speed down that road. People should know. Like, I know where they're coming down. It's like, it's tempting to go a lot faster than you want to go. It's like coming off the highway. It's like this 3-lane service road that the speed limit's 45 on. It's tempting. As I'm sitting here driving on a closed road. Fuck off, cop. Hehehe. Can't stop me. Actually, probably could. Just bail and go in the cornfield. But then never upload it to YouTube. The things you don't know about. But the bike though, the DRZ, why it is more not as smooth, it does have a lot more power, and I don't know the WR how it responds to mods. I'm sure it responds very well. I know the DRZ responds really the fuck well to mods, so you know, I've done them. It just, the torque is the big thing, you know, so you just keep gaining like more and more torque. This engine loves to just get like more like bottomed in on it, and that's what it sucks. That's what the WR is missing a lot of. It's like mine in modded condition, you'd have to have a pretty, I mean, I don't know this. I'd like to see how this would do against like one of those like 290 big bore WRs. I think it would hold its own. I think it could probably take it. So this bike's pretty quick now. This bike holds with like 450s and stuff, like a lot of 450s. It pulls some of them. I've talked about that before, and I know some people do not like believing that, but whatever. Damn signs. I don't know who to vote for. There's too many of them. But anyway, yeah, the DRZ, like I said, why it's harsher and more raw. It almost feels like an old school muscle car, you know. It just, the power hits a lot stronger. It's a lot It's more like harsh, not smooth power, but it's nice. Nice. I like it. The WR feels a lot lighter. I think by weight numbers they're supposed to both be about the same, but the WR feels like a fucking bicycle compared to this one. It feels a lot more nimble. That's one thing I noticed about it. That sure is going to make it a lot more fun to ride around. I found taking it through some twisty section of road, I found it easy just to throw it back and forth and just lay the power on. That smooth power does make it, it's an easier bike to ride fast, I think, because that power does come on a lot smoother and it's a lot more like kind of controllable. The DRZ though is still more than manageable. You know, especially for you guys that ask a lot of her like new riders, yes, the DRZ would be fine, especially like a stock one, even a modded one. If you'd be alright, you'd be fine. So, but the WR it's a damn good built bike. That's a cool looking bike. 1000. So where he's going. You're gonna make me run on it. Why you gotta go fast? That's just boring. This is why sport bikes, see, this is like, I could keep up with it, but why? It's boring already. Like, already I'm bored with this. Yes, here we are, throttle's open. There's 100, yay! Yes, it's entertaining. But yeah, like the I was saying, yeah, between the two though, there's really give up a little power for a little bit of nimbleness. They're both incredibly reliable. Where did he go? I think I lost him. It's like where he went. But you know, I mean, like, honestly, like I said though, between the two, whether you want to give up a little bit of power for a little bit of more nimbleness, or you want to add some weight for some girth, you know, it's pretty much up to you. They're both bikes are really good. They're sort of a toss-up. It's whichever one you choose, I suppose. Oh, we're stopped. Ah, God, what am I? No, that was the right. Stop doing that. You're wrong gear. So, if you find one, if you're in the market for a DRZ, I wouldn't look away from a WR, and if you were in the market for a WR, I wouldn't look away from a DRZ. I'd say look for the two of them if you're looking for one, and whichever one comes up the better deal, go with it, I would think. Unless you're really concerned over one of those over the other. Me, I could care less. I find both the bikes a lot of fun to ride, and they're both super known reliability. Obviously, I haven't rode a WR for long term, so I don't know, but I mean, I'd give up some of the grunt of this bike for a little bit more, what's the word, nimble-ish feeling bike, which I think the WR is. So that's my opinion. Don't ask me anymore. Yeah. Anyway, I have to set up the topic of this was Dash isn't going to be shorting out anymore.